4 things I like about the Force USA Gunner Barbell are that it's a multi-purpose bar, so you can easily switch between powerlifting or Olympic style lifts. It has a knurling that's more on the moderate side, but still provides a really solid grip. It can handle up to 1,500 pounds. And the cherry on top, it has a tensile strength rating of 235,000 PSI. What's up everybody, it's Jake back in the BarBend garage gym with another review ready to go for you guys. This time I've got the Force USA Gunner Barbell. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through everything you need to know about this bar, from the price and the features, some pros and cons that I've experienced, as well as who should or maybe should not buy this barbell. But before I get going, we've reviewed a lot of barbells on barbend.com. So if you want to browse our best list, just go ahead and search BarBend Best Barbells, and you can find out for yourself which ones we like the best. Okay, so what do I like about this barbell? Well, for starters, it's made of black zinc. You know, I've reviewed a handful of black zinc barbells, and honestly, I just never get tired of looking at them. The Gunner is rated to handle up to 1,500 pounds, and it has a tensile strength rating of 235,000 PSI. If you don't know what that means, well, essentially, that's gonna tell you exactly how strong a barbell is. So this number typically ranges from 120,000 PSI to around 230,000. And this is an outlier at right around 235,000 PSI. So you pair that with the 1,500 pound max weight capacity, a lot of you elite level powerlifters are gonna get some solid usage out of this barbell. The sleeves have a really nice spin to them. It's pretty common with a multi-purpose bar like this one. That's gonna be provided by a pairing of stainless steel bushings and 5 needle bearings in both of the sleeves. They spin really nice, as I was saying, but it's not out of control, so you can definitely use this bar for any type of powerlifting you might wanna do and don't have to worry about those sleeves spinning on their own. The loading sleeves also have a grooved pattern. This is also pretty common with a barbell like this, but these are cut deeper than the majority of barbells I've personally used, so I think you're gonna have that optimal success rate in terms of keeping your plates in their original placement. Now, I would still use a pair of weight collars just for your own safety and just to help you out a little bit, but I think you're gonna have a really high success rate like I mentioned. Okay, so with all that being said, you know, there are a few things that are definitely worth mentioning. This necessarily isn't cheap, you know, regardless of which one of these options you go with. I'll dig into all that in a minute. You're gonna be spending at least around $300. You know, that could always be an issue for people. In the long run, you're getting a pretty solid deal, but just know that you're gonna have to spend at least $300. If that's something you don't really wanna do, you know, I'd suggest going to find, you know, a cheaper alternative out there. I know I just got done saying I love a black zinc barbell, and that's true. They look great, but somebody like myself, you know, I'm in a garage. It tends to get pretty hot and humid in here, especially in the peak of summer here in Nashville. So this isn't gonna be the optimal choice in terms of protection from rust and corrosion. So I'm gonna have to clean this barbell more so than I would if it was stainless steel. And then lastly, I really like the knurling right here. It gives me a pretty solid grip, but knurling is really not a one-size-fits-all feature. So, you know, what works for me might not work for you. So just keep that in mind. This is more on the moderate side. If you want something super abrasive, well, you're probably just gonna want a power bar. And if you want something less abrasive than this, you can definitely find that as well. Okay, so in terms of pricing, you have 2 different options. That's gonna depend on which version of this bar you decide to go with. So if you in fact do want this fully black zinc barbell, that's gonna cost you right around 350 bucks. While this one with the regular zinc sleeves, that's gonna be around $300. Now, in terms of actual protection from rust and corrosion on your sleeves, I don't think the color is gonna make much of a difference. I mean, they're both still zinc, so that's definitely gonna be more of a personal aesthetic preference. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you want to save 50 bucks, by all means, go for that regular zinc. I think you'll be just fine. If you don't want to spend, you know, $300 up front, I personally don't blame you. I don't really like doing that. Fortunately, Force USA does allow you to finance your purchase through a firm. For the fully black zinc bar, you'll be paying around 25 bucks a month. And while with this one, with the regular zinc sleeves, that's gonna be around $21 a month. All right, so spending right around $300, possibly more on just a barbell really might seem like a lot of money. But when you compare it to the rest of the market, this is a pretty solid deal because it can handle pretty much everything you throw at it. It does have that super high tensile strength rating as well as that high weight capacity. So, you're getting a lot of utility here, which I personally like. And I really think it's worth that price tag. If you compare it to some other barbells, there's some out there that are the same price as this, and they feature a much lower tensile strength rating. And there's also some that are more expensive and they also feature a lower tensile strength rating. So you're getting a really solid deal here in my opinion, because this is gonna last you a really long time. And since it is so versatile, it could be the only barbell that you really ever need. Okay, so let's talk about the build now and some of the features with this barbell. Let's start with the fact that this is made from black zinc. It's gonna look really good in your gym. I think it looks great in ours, but once again, in terms of optimal protection against rust and corrosion, might not be it for everybody, especially if you are in a humid environment. So keep that in mind. You might have to clean it more often than you really would want to. The knurling here is pretty moderate. I think it feels pretty good in my hands. I have a pretty solid grip. My hands get kind of sweaty too, so I feel like that kind of says a lot if I'm able to get a really good grip on it. But as I mentioned earlier, knurling's not a one size fits all feature. So, keep that in mind. If it's not abrasive enough, you might want to invest in some lifting straps or gloves, or maybe even utilize some chalk if you really want to. This is a 20 kilogram bar. It's not available in 15 or 10 kilograms. So if that's something you're looking for, you'll just have to keep looking. It's just not available here. Once again, this can handle up to 1,500 pounds, and it does have that tensile strength rating of 235,000 PSI. Now, you don't have a center knurling on this barbell. Some people might not like that. I personally do. I don't really like when my chest or my back gets kind of torn up while working out. But, you do lose a little bit of grip if you were to go do a power clean or a hang clean, even a back squat. So that's something, you gotta just learn to deal with if you get this barbell. You do have dual knurl markings here. So these are set by the International Powerlifting Federation and the International Weightlifting Federation. This is gonna be really great. You get identical hand placement as you go to do, a wide grip style lift. Once again, you do have the option of either black loading sleeves or regular zinc loading sleeves. Kind of just personal preference and your personal aesthetic, what you like the best. The loading sleeves have a pairing of stainless steel bushings and 5 needle bearings, so you're gonna get a really smooth spin. Spins at a pretty good rate too. That's gonna be really nice as you go to do a power clean, or really any of those Olympic style and CrossFit style lifts. You're gonna have a really high success rate, but they don't just spin on their own, so that's really nice. I really love the groove pattern on these loading sleeves too. I mean, like I said, they're cut deeper than pretty much any barbell that I've used. And that's gonna be really nice. It's gonna keep my plates locked into their original placement, especially if you toss on some weight collars. I mean, those plates are not gonna move. All right, guys, let's do a quick walk around with this barbell now. Let's start in the middle. As I mentioned, you do not have a center knurling on this barbell. I really like that. It's not gonna tear at my chest or my back during my lifts, but I definitely get why some people would prefer that because, you do have a higher chance of that bar sticking, especially with a power clean. The knurling here, it is pretty moderate, like I said, but it feels pretty good in my hands. I mean, it gives me a nice grip, especially when my hands start to sweat, which tends to happen quite a bit. So that's pretty nice. You do have the dual knurl markings right here. As I was mentioning, this inside one that is set by the International Powerlifting Federation, and this one on the outside, that's by the International Weightlifting Federation. So you can definitely get identical hand placement on both ends of the barbell. You don't have to worry about that at all. All right, and as we go down this barbell, you will see you do have stainless steel bushings right here. You pair those up with the 5 needle bearings in your sleeves, you're gonna get a really nice spin right there. Now, both of these sleeves, they're the exact same. Despite the look, the aesthetic, one's not better than the other. You're gonna get the exact same experience regardless of which of these versions you decide to go with. And I really love this groove pattern right here. So you toss on one of these weight plates and they're cut so deep that you're gonna have a really high success rate in terms of keeping this plate in its original placement. But as always, I definitely suggest throwing a pair of weight collars on here, snap that into place, and this really isn't gonna move as that bar is dropped on the ground. Okay, so who should purchase the Force USA Gunner Barbell? Well, honestly, I think just about everybody should consider this bar if you're looking for a new one. If you're new to weightlifting, the knurling here is pretty moderate. It's not gonna tear your hands up. But, if you're, more experienced and you do have some calluses already on your hands, I still think you're gonna get a pretty solid grip from the knurling right here. It also has a super high weight capacity and that elite tensile strength rating that I was talking about. So if you're really tossing some heavy weight around, this bar is gonna be able to handle it. And since it is a multi-purpose bar, you're getting a lot of versatility here. So you combine all those things together, and I really think this is money well spent in my eyes. Okay, so what about the people who might not want to purchase this barbell? Well, if you're looking for a bar that's specifically meant for powerlifting or Olympic and CrossFit style lifts, I would definitely suggest going after a specialty bar. This one can handle all of that, but there's certain qualities that this might not have that you're really looking for your specific style of lift. If you're somebody looking for a smaller barbell, well, it's not available here. This is only available in 20 kilograms. So if you're looking for a 15 or 10 kilogram barbell, well, you're just gonna have to keep looking. And if you're like myself, you're in a humid garage. I have AC in here, but say you don't, well, this black zinc probably isn't gonna be the ideal solution for you in terms of longevity and preventing rust and corrosion. If that describes your environment, I'd probably suggest just going after a stainless steel barbell. All right, well, that's a wrap on today's review over the Force USA Gunner Barbell. Honestly, guys, this thing is a beast in the gym. You can throw almost anything you want at it because it does have a moderate knurling and sleeves that spin at a really high rate thanks to those stainless steel bushings and the 5 needle bearings. You're gonna be able to do your Olympic style lifts, but the knurling's also pretty solid in my opinion. It's pretty grippy at the same time, so you can definitely do those power lifts, especially since it has that elite tensile strength rating of 235,000 PSI and that high weight capacity of 1,500 pounds. You combine all that with the fact that you're spending less than $400 and no more than 25 bucks a month, regardless of which version you decide to go with, and I think you've got a pretty sweet deal. But remember, if you are looking for a barbell that's specifically for powerlifting or maybe even Olympic style lifts, I'd probably suggest going after a specialty bar. And since this is made from black zinc and it's not stainless steel, if you're in a humid environment, it's gonna require some more TLC than a stainless steel bar would. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this video was really helpful and that I was able to answer some questions that you might have over this barbell, maybe even answer some you might haven't even thought of yet. As always, stay on the lookout for my next review, but for now, why don't you head over to barbend.com and you can read more about this product right here. Just search BarBend Force USA Gunner Barbell Review. Our article is gonna pull right up for you and you can read over everything we discussed here today. I'll see y'all next time.